Hello, ushers and chalice bearers. Thank you for volunteering to serve at our Christmas Eve services. This video is going to walk you through the alternative communion setup that we've been using the last year or two for Christmas and Easter. So we're going to show you what the ushers are going to do to help with the correct flow and how the priests and chalice bearers will serve communion to the people who are visiting us for worship. So on we go.
All right, so we're going to talk through each of the 4 communion stations. So the first one we're going to talk about is the communion station that's back here in the cookie and coffee corner. So in just a moment, we'll go introduce you to our stand-in priests and chalice bearers. But first, we're going to talk about how people are going to get to the station. So we have our lovely usher, Hillary, here. And for this station, Steve will make an announcement that perhaps your closest communion station will be behind you, and that is true. These chairs will be like normal, and the ushers will come and invite people from the center aisle to follow their way back here to the communion station. When they arrive back here, the priest will be standing here in front of the organ memorial wall. They'll receive the bread from the priest, and then the chalice bearers will be here, one and then a second one here at each station. They'll receive the cup, and then they'll continue on around this way to re-enter their aisle from this side, closest to the pews. When you've completed the center section of chairs, working your way from the back of the nave all the way to the front, the usher will move over here to start dismissing these sections. Now on Christmas Eve, there'll be chairs all the way to the back wall, but we're just pretending for the moment. So the usher will come over and begin at the very, very back row, inviting them to come and move this direction. And they'll come around. So David, pause there for a second. There will be a second usher in each corner that's standing here directing the flow of traffic to make sure that people come the correct direction. So as people come this way, they'll come closest to the pillar and around, receive communion. And then proceeding back to their chair. Ensuring that people go around in this way means that no one will ever cross paths as they go this direction. So we've moved over into the Compline corner of the cathedral. You'll notice that this is essentially going to be a mirror image of what we did on the other side. So the usher, starting at the very back row here by the baptismal font, will invite the congregation to come out the center aisle around to receive communion here. Note that the priest isn't directly in front of the wall with the Pro Christo awards. The chalice bearers will be here in front of the soundboard. That second usher is here inviting the congregation to return to their seats via this outside aisle. When they've finished over here, the usher will then move, once you've gone all the way to the front, so the entire section of chairs will come, and then the usher will come back here. And remember, there'll be chairs all the way to the back of the nave. So the usher will come and invite the congregation again to come this direction. That static usher that's here directing traffic will invite the congregation to come closest to the pillar and around to receive communion, ensuring that nobody's ever crossing paths with one another. Now, as we come this way and take a look, we'll see that there are folded chairs all the way down the side. You start at the very back of this side section and you work your way forward until you meet the usher who's working from the front. So you will not go all the way to the front. You'll go about to the middle as you meet the other ushers who are working their way backwards. So we've come up here to the ambo corner, here directly in front of the ambo, and you'll notice that the priest is here right in the corner right here, along with the chalice bearers next to one another. So this is where everyone will come for this station. Now, the first section that comes to this station is going to be this set of pews right here. So the usher will come down and starting at the first pew and dismiss them to come this way. And there'll be a second usher here helping them to remember where they're going. So we're inviting everyone to come this direction and then to return to their seat right over here. Now, ushers, this is especially important for you to know that because you're coming all the way to the front, you might have people who get very antsy. So don't be afraid to tell people just to wait, and they will have someone who comes and dismisses them. When this section of pews is completed, so as we've come over to the side, we know that there's going to be chairs all the way to the front, but we'll start our demonstration here. You're going to invite people from the end of the section closest to the back of the nave, right? So that would be this end of the section here. So we'll invite everyone from this aisle, and they'll come this way, and there'll be an usher standing here inviting them to come around to receive communion. And then returning to their chairs by that far end of their section. Just like that. And they'll come up. And again, the usher in this corner will work their way all the way down the side aisles until they've met the usher from the back of the nave. It'll be about to the center of the black chairs. So we've reached our way to the final corner of the nave. This is the elevator corner, the kids' carpet corner of the nave, noting that the carpets will actually be covered in chairs on Christmas Eve because there's so many people. But again, we'll mirror what we did in this last corner, starting here with the pews, inviting people to come from this inside aisle around to receive communion. Again, always there's a static usher here at each section that's helping to direct traffic. So as everyone is coming this way, we're inviting everyone to return to their seat on this outside aisle and go from there. When this section of pews is complete, that usher will then move to the elevator corner over here, noting that the black chairs will be set up facing directly inward. So they're going to be in rows parallel to the wall. When we do this, the usher will begin at the section of the chairs closest to the back of the nave. It's a little bit confusing, but we promise it'll work. The section closest to the back of the nave, and work their way this way. Everyone will be invited to receive communion. And then invited to return to their chairs. Again, you're starting at the section farthest to the front, but on the side of the section closest to the back of the nave. You'll work your way all the way down the side until you meet the usher coming from the back, which will be about to the middle of the chairs.
All right, so we're wrapping up the video with just a few important reminders. First off, we want to make sure that everyone stands on the tape we have to identify the priest and the chalice. So we'll have those marked in each of the corners. Do your best to try and stay put on that X. I know it's kind of natural that we want to get close to each other, just thinking that helps, but it actually helps to stay distanced so that there isn't a big scrunch of people coming together. Another reminder is if you're serving chalice in the corners, the coffee or Compline corner closest to the narthex, There will be altar guild and vergers and people to refill your chalices, but we also will have a flagon sitting at a table that has consecrated wine in it. It'll be very clear. So if you need a refill, please don't hesitate to go to that flagon of consecrated wine. You're welcome to sit your chalice on the table if you need and just gently pour the wine, trying not to splash it if you can. And then you can have your refilled wine that way. We'll also be refilling the patens of bread, so there'll be quite a bit to do, but keep in mind you can refill your own wine if you're in the coffee and Compline corners. Another reminder is this is a different way to serve communion, but also a lot of people come for the first time, or maybe the only time of the year they come is Christmas, maybe also Easter. So it's going to be an experience, a new thing for a lot of us. Don't let it stress you out. We're here to celebrate Christmas. We want to be filled with joy. We want to invite people into a joyful space. Even if things don't go as we're explaining them in this video and you mess up, keep going. No one's going to notice. It'll all work out. As long as we all get fed, we'll make sure we all get fed. Jesus is still born. One more reminder, when you're ushering especially, please gesture the directions people go. Do not touch people. So, Hillary, may I touch you? You especially do not grab people by the arm. Don't push people. Don't put your hand on another person's body at all. To direct people, please use your hands to direct. If they don't go, and your mouth, you can also speak, please, ma'am, come this way. If they don't follow your direction, it's okay. They'll figure out where they're going and get where they need to go. Bottom line is, thank you so much for volunteering. We hope you have a very Merry Christmas, and we will see you very soon.
Merry Christmas.